Alright, this video is just supposed to be going through Adventure Time and talking about the two main subjects that I find the most interesting. Mostly because of personal preference, but also because of the very in-depth story that they took in that show. One is the Mushroom War, and then two is the character Simon Petrikov. Those are the two most interesting topics because they kind of also intertwine with each other. Because Simon also was there during the Mushroom War, and like he's the only one that actually has any record besides the Lich. But Simon is the one that would be the most likely one to be able to help out and be able to tell what really happened. But anyway, moving on. This is on the spot. Like, I'm literally just turned on the mic and I'm doing this right now. So it's mostly just recollection of everything that I watched throughout the show and everything that I've taken notes on. So this is, like, I have nothing here with me to like kind of know what I'm talking about. This is all off my top of the head. So please excuse any grammar or just anything that I loops or anything, because it's literally, I'm just talking about this subject on the spot, nothing at all. It's mostly just improv, really. But anyway, let's move on. Now, we have the character Simon Petrikov, which he starts out as like the earliest thing we know about him in the time period is that he was a kind of a newly graduated young what would the word be, ancient artifact collector, basically. Also, like, he was the one who found the Ike and in my opinion, I think he's the one that really released the Lich, because since the Lich and the Ike are basically very important to each other, I feel like that's the two things that like in the temple that he found it, I think the Lich was there also, and in some way he kind of released the Lich. But also, I don't know, that there hasn't really been anything since the last Simon related episode that really told anything that important about it. So it's just really off the top of my head. That's just a theory. But as we know, Simon, he collected a lot of various artifacts because of superstition, and he really loved that type of stuff. That he came across the crown in northern Scandinavia that, he got it from an old dock worker, and he took it home to his fiancee, which is named Betty. He put it on and instantly became, well, my theory on when he put on the crown was that he I don't. It's really vague because basically he said that he blinked out for like all he knew he was yelling and screaming at the images that he saw, but and then like Betty, she became basically looked at him with such contempt, and then left, which is super strange if you think about it. Like, if you think about it, newly fiancés, like literally they're about to get married within a couple weeks, would you really think that Betty, that really loves Simon Petrikov as far as we know, would just leave without, trying to help at all? Now, what I think happened was that she, before Simon put on the crown, that he told her, Betty, where he got the crown in northern Scandinavia, and then she was like, put it on, whatever, and then he went crazy, like, really mad, and then she got really scared, and she basically went to northern Scandinavia to see where he got it from, and then she found the old dock worker, he told her the tale what the crown is, and then she tried to go find a way to like fix it, but the Mushroom War happened shortly afterwards. So I don't know. It's really weird because if you really think about it, that's a really weird thing like that she just left, up and left, never came back, didn't even say she was gonna leave. It's strange, but also like the thing is, if you think about it, this is supposed to be a kid show in some way, but at the same time, it's the fandom is so like there's so many adults that they always try and look at the fandom and always try to make the show a little bit towards the fandom. So that's what I think that the why the story is getting really in depth. But now we know what happened this time. Petrikov, he went crazy, and then he the magic from the crown basically slowed his aging to a point where he's, as far as we know, he's immortal. But we know he's aging, because as the Ice King, we see him as a really frail old man, but he can take a beating, as you can see from Finn whacking his hams or whatever he would prefer calling it. But you can see he's really resilient in the fact that the crown gives him the energy to be able to withstand that. Now, that's pretty interesting because I don't know how extent the aging is for him, or if that's just where he reached that spot and he's never going to age after that. But as far as we know, we can't tell because the show is not really going so in depth with it right now, because they always have episodes where it's just basically they drop off the story and they just have a little bit a little fun with it, but still. And then before, right in the middle of the Mushroom War, he discovered Marceline in the wreckage of the city in California, which is really strange because it's really strange to know where he lived in the world, because if you look at the episode, Holly Jolly Secrets, or something of that thing or name, you see in the outside his window of his house some really old looking in my opinion those look like European buildings. I thought he kind of lived in the Europe for a while, but then there was an episode of him in California, because you can tell it's in California is because of the famous highway that you can, and also this, I forget what it was, but I know it was in California. It was either a highway that said it or gave it away, or it was the city name on the sign, but I forget which one was which. So we know that he was in California, or he was in America at the time when the Mushroom War was happening, but we don't really know where he lived before that, because he looked like a very intricate man. He looked like a very wise man. He looked like it, especially with the round glasses. I really would have thought he lived in Europe. I don't know why, but round glasses, Europe, in my mind, they associate with each other. But now, going back to California, he met Marceline, and then basically it was he had to protect her, and then that's basically what got in his mind. But at this point of the crown affecting him, it wasn't affecting him a great deal. It was just more, I guess it just kind of impaired his thinking a little bit, but it just ceased at that, just impaired it a little bit. But every time you put on the crown, it would impair it a little bit. If you'd like to picture it like this, it's like a dam, and then more water is being added to the dam every time he puts on the crown. And then the last, there was the moment when he got surrounded by those green creatures that used to be humans, and then he knew he had to put on the crown, even though he promised Marceline that he wouldn't. Then when he put it on, just that drop made the dam crack and break. And it was just a small crack at the time. It was just spilling out water little by little. But, a crack can widen and widen and widen. So that was just the crack. When he put on the crown that last time, it made that crack. Then over the many years, he just became more and more insane, rapidly. Because as the crack became bigger, he would rapidly more become insane. So as soon as Marceline was old enough, this is what we have to imagine, that he kind of like was so loopy that when she became kind of old enough, she realized that she kind of needs to leave him because he's kind of a psycho, but at the same time she didn't want to because he's kind of her father figure. But anyway, let's move on. Marceline then moved to the land of Ooo, as we can see, or as we know from the show. Sorry, but that's kind of obvious. I don't know why I tried to explain that. But, and then we know that Simon just followed her. Like, he lived in the mountains, or the ice mountains. I don't know if there are mountains under that ice, or if it's just ice mountains that he created. But anyway, he kind of just got the distinct thing in him. Like, thing that was, no matter how damaged basically the dam would get, he always knew that he had to be, friends with Marceline. But yeah, that's basically the sum of Simon Petrikov. I still think he will become Simon Petrikov at the end, he'll become sane again sometime. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because of how wacky Adventure Time is. It's hard to tell if they'll actually become serious and let Simon become Simon. Because I feel like if Simon became Simon again, Princess Bubblegum, which, my god, I hate. It's a good kid show, but god damn it, it's a kid show. But anyway, I feel like Simon and Princess Bubblegum would be a pretty good pair if he actually became sane again, because they are both intellectual, and also Peevy, she has a fascination with ancient technology, which is just human technology, so that'd be pretty interesting, because Simon, he just remembers that stuff because he used to use it day to day. So I guess I will discuss the Mushroom War in the second part, because I kind of spent the entire time talking about Simon this part. I don't think I left anything out about Simon. Well, there isn't much really to know about Simon yet. Well, we kind of know everything that, if you watch the show, if you watched all the episodes, you know where Simon and Marceline is at. Like, the latest episode that had to do with Simon and Marceline, and Simon wasn't even in it. It was just Marceline and Peevy. She got Hambo back, which, if you don't know what Hambo is, I'm sure I'm going to be putting pictures in this video, so I'm sure the picture just reminds you who it was. But if you still don't know, it's the toy that Simon gave her to try and comfort her. So I hope that kind of sparked your memory. And if you don't know, if you don't know what happened to it, she had a boyfriend named Ash. Ash sold it to a witch, and then he got a magic wand by selling it. So that's basically what happened. And then the episode is her going that witch. She found the witch, and then she went to go get it back, but she needed Peevy's help. So that's basically the episode. So I think that's really about it for Simon and Marceline, and then Mushroom War will come second. I'm still trying to try and fill up the void with trying to figure out if there's anything else I need to talk about. Well, there is one more thing about Simon I want to talk about, and that's the powers that he was granted, which, the thing is, I do get in arguments with people about this, with people that are Adventure Time fans, that I don't think you could consider Simon, Ice King, as a wizard, because he gets the powers from the crown, and, well, as we know, all the wizards in Adventure Time, they just get powers from themselves, it's just a natural thing from themselves. But Simon, he has to use the crown, or else literally he can't do anything without the crown. He's just a regular human, except for the fact that he's, the only thing that can be a counter argument to that is that if he took off the crown and he was human again, he wouldn't be insane. And also he'd die because he's kind of 1,000 years old. But I still think there's kind of a link with the crown and him. No matter, if he even takes off the crown, there's that link, literally that invisible link that keeps him energized, so he doesn't like, turn to dust basically when he takes off the crown. But at the same time, um, it doesn't have enough energy to give him the powers. And then there's always, in my opinion, and this is a theory, that if Simon ever gets in trouble, there's always a fail-safe, self-face, fail-safe option where the crown literally kind of gives him as much power as he needs, like literally almost all of it, to defend himself. And that's what he has, because Finn and Jake aren't a threat. They are just literally, they're just kids who, just might beat him up a little bit, but not to the point where he'll get killed. But the episode where those three wizards came at him and tried to kill him, now Ice King isn't really an experienced wizard, and that's the reason why, in reality, if he only had the powers that he had as we saw, and his experience, he would probably beat the heck. I won't use the K word because it's a kid's show, but, in reality, he would be, beat the unconsciousness. But anyway, yeah, so I think there's a failsafe where he gets enough powers to defend himself at any time, as long as the threat is big enough.